Very good afternoon, students. Today we'll talk about how the sales force can be motivated and how they can be compensated. So we're starting with unit number 3, which will talk about the motivation and the compensation of the sales force. So motivation has been actually derived from the Latin word mover, which means to move. So that means what the sales people actually they're performing various types of activities in the sales job, and so they need to be motivated so that they can work harder and can pursue more customers, bring more customers to the company, and can be able to generate revenue for the organization. If we say there, if we see over here, the dimensions of motivation, there are 4 dimensions of motivation. Their intensity refers to the amount of physical and mental effort that a salesperson spends on a given task. Direction suggests the way, the action that he is taking. Persistence shows how long a person can give in his efforts. Persistence shows how long a person the salesperson can continue to put his effort so that he can get the outcome actually which he deserves. Then we talk about what? We talk about the next one, that is what is actually motivation, and you have to understand what are the things that motivate a salesperson. It is very necessary to understand the things that motivates the salesperson so that you can design the plans for motivation accordingly. Then you have to also understand that how a salesperson is actually choosing his actions. Motivation can be intrinsic and extrinsic. Intrinsic motivation is that motivation which comes from within the salesperson. It comes from within. He feels happy to work. Extrinsic is that those outer forces which like bonus, salary, which motivate the salesperson to work harder. Why is motivation important? It is important because the market environment is actually changing every time, maybe change in demography, maybe change in technology. So it is very necessary that the sales people keep on adjusting themselves according to the changes that are happening in the marketing environment. Second point is conflicting company objectives. Many times it happens that the objective of the customer, the objective of the salesperson and the objective of the company does not match, because the salesperson may be wanting to sell up because he has to fulfill his target, so maybe he wishes to sell a particular product at a discount to the customer, but this is against the objectives of the company. In such cases there is conflict between the company objectives and the salesperson's objectives. Then the third point, unique nature of the sales job, because the working hours are not fixed for a salesperson. He mostly works in the field. He does not have very much social life. Some buyers are also of a very bad attitude. So the sales job has a very unique nature. Fourth point is separate motivational package. So actually every person who is experienced, a person who is new, the sales package for every group or every category of the salesperson will be different. Then you have Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So these are the various motivational theories which will be studied, that which will be able to which will be able to understand how these motivational theories are actually going to motivate the salespeople. This theory, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, given by Abraham Maslow, tells us that there are actually 5 levels of needs, and a person, before reaching the last level, that is of self actualization, tries to fulfill his lower level needs. So as you can see over in the diagram, that the lowest level, that is biological and physiological needs. So in this, the basic needs of a person should be fulfilled. Once the basic needs of a person is fulfilled, then he wants security needs, that he wants job security, he wants health security, he needs a retirement plan. Once that is fulfilled, he moves on to the upper level, that is belongingness needs. So he wants interaction with his family, he wants his friends around it. So these are all the psychological needs. Then you have esteem needs, which can be fulfilled by giving him recognition in the company, by giving him more status. Then you have the self-fulfillment needs, which is actually self-actualization. So for these particular levels also are applicable to a salesperson. A salesperson who is on the lowest level of need, maybe his basic needs are not fulfilled. It is the work of the sales manager to offer him a very good package. If If a salesperson is feeling very insecure, then the sales manager's work is to provide him with job security. Then if his maybe another salesperson is there who actually whose lower level needs have been fulfilled and he wants a belongingness need. So in that cases, social gatherings are held by the sales manager so that he can interact with the people. Meetings are held, which helps the salesperson to meet all the people who are working in the organization, and his third level need is fulfilled. Then comes the esteem need. By giving awards to a salesperson, by giving him recognition in public or in private, he feels very motivated. And the last one is sales actualization, which actually does not hold very much true in the case of a salesperson. But once he has fulfilled all the lower level needs, if a person who has reached a salesperson has reached the self actualization need, he can be given lower, or he can be provided with newer salespeople he can coach or mentor. So this is all about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Then we have Herzberg's two-factor theory. Herzberg's two-factor theory is also known as the hygiene theory. So it is actually telling us two things. One is the maintenance factors, and uh, one is the hygiene factor. In hygiene factors, we have the company policies, the supervision, the relationship, the working conditions of the company. These are all the hygiene factors. In case these factors are not present, the presence of these factors will not motivate the salespeople. But in case these are not present, this can bring dissatisfaction among the salespeople. For motivators, we have achievement, recognition, responsibility. So these are the things which actually motivates the salespeople. So if a salespeople has to be motivated, he should be. It can be given through job enrichment, through job enlargement, through employee empowerment. So for job enrichment, he can be job enrichment and enlargement. He can be given more complex and challenging jobs, which will make the job more interesting, and the salesperson will feel motivated. Then you have employee empowerment. It means that he is getting more responsibility to delegate the authority. So this can be done by slowly increasing the amount of responsibility that is delegated to an employee. Next is Vroom expectancy theory. As you can see in the diagram, that the effort is leading. It shows that if the salesperson gives in more effort, he will give a better performance. If he's giving a better performance, it is a belief that he will be getting good rewards and which will be valuable for him. So let's start with the first one, that is expectancy. It refers to the relationship between the effort and the performance. It is the belief that increasing in the effort will lead to increase in performance. For example, if the salesperson wants to improve the sales, he will do more sales calling, he can work for longer hours so that he can able to give in more and better performance. Then we have instrumentality, which is a belief that if you perform well, then the outcome he'll get a valuable outcome. So if he does a good job, there will be some reward for him. Then you have balance, which is the importance that the individual places upon the reward that he is getting. So you can see over here, expectancy is the person's perception that their effort will result in performance. Instrumentality is the performance that performance results in outcomes, and valence is how desired are the outcomes from a job. So this high expectancy, high instrumentality, and high valence, they all lead to high motivation of the salesperson. Then you have Churchill, Ford, and Walker model of sales motivation. So it tells us what, that the higher the salesperson motivation, the greater the effort, leading to higher performance. Enhanced performance will lead to greater rewards, which will bring about higher job satisfaction. So you can see in the diagram that told that a higher degree of motivation, efforts, and aptitude will lead to a greater performance. Greater performance will lead to greater rewards, and greater rewards will lead to higher satisfaction level. So higher satisfaction will reinforce the motivation. So this model is actually derived from Bloom's expectancy theory. Then we'll talk about the various motivational tools. We have financial compensation and we have non-financial compensation. So the financial compensation has salary, it has commission, includes bonus, fringe benefits, or it can be a combination. In the non-financial combination, financial compensation, you have promotional opportunities, sense of accomplishment, personal growth opportunities, recognition, job securities. So these are all the non-financial compensation. So if we talk about the financial compensation, it includes the salary, that is the money that is given to the person, the commission that is given on the basis of sales. So these are all the based, or you can say these are all the current compensation that is given to the salesperson. Then you can also have sales contest, which also motivates the person. Contests are actually short term selling campaigns which offer incentives like prizes or awards at a specific purpose, like increasing the short term sales. But the design of the contest should be such that each salesperson get equal opportunity to win, and it should be based on an open system so that maximum salespeople can win the contest. Mostly these contests are held to have an improvement or and motivate the salesperson so that his current performance can be improved. Then you can have also team compensation. Team compensation is actually very important in B2B business. But a problem in team compensation is that people who are actually very much used to individual compensation, they feel hesitated in team compensation, and it is also very difficult to decide which individual contributed how much in a team. So whenever a sales manager is designing the team compensation, he must take the views of the team members also, and then he must design the compensation. So then you can go to the next one, that is the non-financial motivational tools. We can talk about promotion. Promotion provides more responsibility and authority to the salesperson, and he feels motivated. For example, a person can join as a salesperson, then mm, then he can be promoted to senior salesperson. Finally, he can be promoted to key account executive. Then there can be other financial compensation like the sense of accomplishment. This is an intrinsic motivation because a company cannot provide accomplishment. It is such a feeling which comes from within the salesperson. So it is the duty of the company that they facilitate such an environment that salesperson needs a sense of accomplishment should be provided by the company. The company should communicate to the salespeople how they're important for the organization. They should also identify the individual salesperson's contribution to the organization for the success of the organization. So these are various non-financial compensation. Now we'll talk about other non-financial compensation like personal growth opportunities. It is very much necessary that the people or the salespeople are given opportunities for their personal growth. For this, they can have more distance learning programs, they can attend various workshops or seminars. Then you have recognition. If a salesperson is given recognition in the company for the work that he is doing, for the achievement that he has brought in, he will feel very much motivated. Then you have job security. Actually, job security is mostly wanted by the older people who are nearing the retirement. So, a person who feels insecure should be provided job security. And job security can only be happening when when less people are thrown out of their jobs. Mostly, this happens with the private jobs. Then, sales meeting is there. A sales meeting, actually the manager organizes for the sales meeting. So while he can do it through ACME. ACME means aims. ACME means, first A stands for uh, aims. That means what is the objective of having the sales meeting. Then you have content, that what will be the content of the meeting that is going to be held. Then you have method. So what are the various methods through which the meeting will be held. Then you have execution, which shows that when will the meeting be held, who will be the members, what will be the agenda of the meeting, what is the timing of the meeting, where it will be held. So all these things are decided over here. Then finally, after the meeting is over, a feedback should be taken that whether the meeting was helpful or not. So we will be evaluating the sales meeting. So this was all about motivation, and now we'll start with the compensation of the sales force. So compensation means what? Compensation is actually the payment that the sales force receives from the company for the work that he is doing. So there should be a good compensation plan, and they should consider the objectives from the company's points of view as also from the sales point of view, salesperson viewpoint. So let us talk about the objective of a compensation plan. From the viewpoint of a company, it provides a good compensation plan, so that is it is able to attract the salespeople, it is able to retain the efficient salespeople and motivate them. A good compensation plan should attract and keep top quality salespeople. It should also motivate salespeople to reach and exceed their sales goals. If the compensation plan is good, it also helps to um, keep a control on the activities of the salespeople. They should be provided proper incentives so that they are able to control the salespeople's activities. To be competitive, yet they have to be economical. So most companies want to keep the salespeople's expenses at the same level as those of the competitors. At the same time, the company wants its compensation plan economical. So it is very difficult to actually balance these two objectives. Then the compensation plan should be flexible. A good compensation plan should be flexible to adapt to the new products and to the volatile markets and different territory sales potential. Now let us talk about the various steps of a compensation plan. So you can see over here, the first is the examine the job description, then deciding on the specific objectives, then establishing the level of compensation, evolving the method of compensation, determine the payment of fringe benefits, then you have pre-testing and installing and evaluating the plan. So let us start with the first one, that is examining the job description. So if we talk about examining the job description, actually there are various types of sales position, such as machinery salespeople, outside order takers, delivery salespeople, consultative sellers, creative sellers, and each of these position actually need a different type of a job description. So which should be done, a detailed job responsibility and key performance standard should be there to decide how much the company should pay. Then second, we have set up the specific objectives. So these sales force objectives should be derived from the company sales and marketing objectives. The sales manager should include those specific objectives over which the sales people have maximum control, such as the number of sales call made to A and B class customers, what is the selling expenses, how many new customers has the salesperson decide uh, has been developed. So these are the various ways of compensating a sales compensation plan. Then you have the next step, that is deciding the level of pay of compensation. It is very necessary for the company to decide or keep the level of compensation as it is already in the industry with the similar jobs. Otherwise, it will not be able to retain very good and qualified salespeople in the organization. And then you have the step, that is the developing the compensation mix. So this is a very important element. The company has to decide how much salary it is going to provide, what will be the commission it is going to provide, how much bonus it is going to provide, if it is going to give any other monetary benefits, if it is going to give any fringe benefits, if it is going to provide for any pension plans or any life insurance plans. So the exact compensation mix has to be decided by the company. Then you have to decide about the indirect payment plan also, so which is also called the fringe benefits. Then you have the last point in this, pre-testing, administering and evaluating the plan. So before a new or proposed compensation plan is adopted, the company should pre-test and evaluate it. After the new plan is established, it should be evaluated on quarterly, half yearly or yearly basis. Now let us talk about the various types of compensation plan. Mostly three types of compensation plans are used by any organization. That is straight salary plan, straight commission, or a combination of salary and commission and bonus. So if we talk about this straight salary plan, from the name itself you can understand that it is 100% compensation is salary, which is very fixed. So there is actually no concern over here for the sales performance or the salesperson's efforts. So the main advantage in this is that the salesperson gets a secured income to cover his expenses. The salespeople willing to perform non-selling activities like payment collection, report writing is happening over here, and it is simple to administer. But the main disadvantage is that no financial incentive to the salespeople are given for the efforts they are making over there. Then maybe it be a burden for a new and the loss making firms. Then you have state commission. State commission is what? It is just totally opposite the straight salary plan. Most popular commission base is the sales volume or profitability. So the commission is a rate. Commission rate is a percentage of sales or the gross profit. This plan is generally used by real estate or insurance companies. So the main advantage is that over here it is having a strong financial incentive attracts high performance. It removes ineffective salespeople from the particular position and improves the results. It also helps to control the selling cost and requires less of a supervision. But the main disadvantage is focus is on sales and not on the customer relationship. Salespeople may have to pay less attention to non-selling jobs. While deciding about the commission plan, the sales manager has to decide the commission base, the commission rate, the commission starting point, and the commission payout. Actually, the commission base is what? It is the base on which the salesperson's performance is measured. Commission rate, it is maybe it is based paid per unit, maybe it is paid as a percentage of sale. Commission start it is the starting point for the commission payment, that is after selling the first unit or after reaching the sales quota. So these are the various things that the sales manager has to decide. Now we have the combination plan. Combination plan can be salary plus commission, it can be salary plus bonus, or it can be salary plus commission plus bonus. So this plan salary plus commission actually achieves the balance between the fixed salary and the variable, that is the commission elements of a salesperson pay. Whereas salary plus bonus is used by companies who want to control the selling and the non-selling activities of the salespeople, with a large portion of fixed elements of the salary. And whereas you have salary plus commission, company use the three elements, that is some salary, commission, bonus in their compensation plan. For example, an incentive to increase sales, to expected leave and bonus, and achieve specific objectives like developing new customers or introducing new products. It helps the company to have adequate control of salespeople, activities, and incentives to increase to suitable for increasing sales, controlling the suitable for selling seasonal sales force activities. So in these cases, salary plus commission plus bonus is used. Then you have commission plus bonus, which is actually not much popular. It is used for team selling activities for selling to major customers. Then what are the advantages of a combination plan? It is flexible to reward and control the sales force activities. It gives security for the living cost and incentive for superior performance. It gives reward specific to sales performance. Different plans for different sales positions can be assigned through the combination plan. But the disadvantage is that, as you can see, there is a lot of mixture, so it is very complex and difficult to administer. It may not achieve objectives if not properly planned, implemented, and understood. Indirect payment plan, also called fringe benefits or prerequisites, help in attracting and retaining the people, but have now come under the government tax in India. Now, if we talk about the bonus, profit sharing fringe benefits, indirect payment plan is also called fringe benefits, like the medical reimbursement and mm, group. You have the group life insurance, travel and insurance. So these are all the fringe benefits. Then you have profit sharing. Many experts in the field of sales management disapprove extending profit sharing with the salespeople. Then we have fringe benefits, having become more fascinating subject and an item of considerable expense to the organization. We come to the last of the last point in the compensation plan, which talks about the pre-testing and administering and evaluating the compensation plan. So once the compensation plan has been implemented, now the new compensation plan should be pre-tested. The companies pre-test a new or proposed plan before adoption. Either it is simulated on a computer or pre-tested at one or more branches for 6 to 12 months. It should involve all the concerned people. Administering the new compensation plan, announce the plan in advance, explain the new plan and reasons for changing the previous plan, and evaluating the new compensation plan. So you have to find it, the objectives of the plan are achieved. Then some companies audit also the compensation plans. Now we'll talk about the various leadership styles. A person can be of a manager. A manager can be an autocratic leader where he just gives orders and expects obedience. He can be a bureaucratic leader who abides by all the rules and regulations. He can be a consultative leader who consults his colleagues before taking any decision. He can be a democratic leader, but decisions is taken on constraints suitable for the concentrated small sales force. He can be a laissez-faire leader also, who sets the goals and gives them the total freedom to manage their own accounts. So the leadership and supervision of the sales force, a manager achieves organizational goals and objectives in an effective and efficient manner through planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling the organizational resources. Leading is a part of the manager's function. Leaders have an emotional influence when people have a vision for the future. Effectiveness depends on three factors: personal characteristics, leadership styles, and leadership skills. So, if we talk about the leadership styles, he can be a transactional leader where he equates to supervision in relating to day-to-day operations and control and task orientation. Or he can be a transformation leader who changes values and attitudes of the followers who perform beyond their expectations. He can be a situational leader who uses a style that actually fits the situation they are facing. The leadership skills actually required by an effective sales manager are communication, problem solving, and interpersonal skills. So, the types of influencing power, or you can say, leader is who? A leader is a person who actually energizes and motivates the salespeople. He achieves almost all the impossible goals. He is innovative, he is risk taking, motivates his followers to utilize potential and perform his best and give us their best. He manages the work in a very sure sort way. Then, what are the types of influential power? It can be expert power, that is, an expertise of a person in authority, maybe through knowledge, information, skill in a particular area. He can have referent power, that is, the attraction a person has for another. It can be friendship, it can be desire to identify with successful, famous people. Then you have legitimate power, that is the position which is held. It gives the right to influence others and command the objectives. It can be reward power, that is, that due to authority to confer rewards on the other people. Then you have leadership can be on based on coercive power, which is an ability to discipline, to punish, and to withhold rewards to employees in an organization. So, students, this was all from me for this particular slide, which is on motivation and compensation. Hope you will understood what is motivation, which means how to motivate the salespeople. For that, we have already discussed the various theories, like the theory given by Maslow, the theory given by Herzberg, the theories given by Churchill and Ford, which tells us how the salespeople can be motivated. Then we talked about compensation. What are the various ways? Why does the company wish to give? Why does the company compensate the salespeople? What are the various types of compensation plan? It can be so the various compensation plan can be, it can be based on commission, it can be based on salary, or it can be based on a combination of both salary and commission. But each method has its own advantages and disadvantages. Then we talked about the leadership styles of the manager. He can be an autocratic leader, he can be a democratic leader, he can be a laissez-faire leader. So the whole, he is actually the captain of the ship, and a lot depends upon the how the lead how the manager actually leads his salespeople towards the attainment of the objectives of the organization. So I hope you had a good session today. So let's meet in the next video. That in that we'll talk more about the uh, we'll talk more about compensating and leading the sales force. Okay, students, thank you and bye for now. We'll meet in the next video.